Here we are live once again, folks. We're back. We got ourselves a lightning flash news going on today because we have something very special, something that's very exciting to me, and I just think this is a new niche for my show. And we're on tour with the Midnight Devils. So what's shaking there, Sam? Sam's stepping in here with us today from the UK. Where are you exactly?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your special bulletin news correspondent on location right here, down and dirty, right in the nitty-gritty in Blackpool, UK, on tour with the Midnight Devils and Pretty Boy Floyd. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Stu, for having me. I love it. It's a very cool idea.
That's what I'm so glad you like it. I thought, wow, you guys are going to be there. I'm really excited because I'm kind of in the Midwest as well. I definitely am I am as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to England and I love it. We've been to Ireland. I love it. We still haven't been to Scotland though. I got to get there. But man, I'm going to say it again. I'm proud of you guys. This is great. And this isn't your first trip overseas, right? To tour?
No, this will be our second time in the UK, and we were here about a year ago to the date, touring with Enough's Enough. So we're kind of hitting some of the same places, a couple of the new places, but it really feels so cool to be back, and like we kind of know what's going on, we know the lay of the land a little bit better, and it's just like bigger and better adventures just keep coming.
Now if you don't mind, let me do this. I put this in here so I could put it over the top real quick. And here are your dates.
Hey.
And so you start up tomorrow at the Waterloo Music Bar.
Yeah, first show, Waterloo Music Bar. We're actually sitting inside of the Waterloo right now as we speak.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so we just went down to it's right on the Irish Sea, I believe, and we just went down to the seafront and had dinner. And kind of walked around, and everybody's celebrating Halloween. Everybody's dressed up. There's bands. Let me tell you, it's probably 40 degrees outside, and there's a ton of people walking around dressed up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. I was like, I told first thing I told Sam is that I'm a little jealous, and that if I was already retired from my full-time gig, I would be over there with them right now, schlepping gear and helping out because I never had a chance to do that. Mm-hmm. I had a friend not a friend of mine, but my wife's cousin who followed around some bands and worked with a lot of bands over the years. And I'm like, man, that's what I really wanted to do. But
yeah, I'm telling you, it's like a whole different world. I think it's so weird that we spoke 3 days ago, and mm-hmm. we were both in the United States. Now 3 days later, we're in a completely different country, halfway around the world. Trying to navigate what is the British culture, and it's so cool. And it's such a kind of a mind melter.
Especially when if you rent a car, you just get all the insurance. You just go.
Oh yeah, we just went through that today because our drummers are coming in late, so it's been like Project Rescue a drummer from the airport. And luckily, my girlfriend bought a car or rented a car, so we have been driving on the wrong side of the road all day, saving from the clutches of United Airlines.
Now I always try to be nice, and I always say the opposite side of the road.
Oh yeah, correct.
I mean, they started it first, right? I mean,
they might have. I like to mess with them and say, well, in America we drive on the correct side of the road. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are doing over here, but it's a little bit.
Yeah, but just wait till you get attacked, and you're swinging with the wrong arm because most of us are right-handed, so.
But it's the whole driving is just it's a whole nother thing. I did it in Australia too, and I was slightly prepared, but jumping out on the interstate on the left side of the road. Yes.
Did you have anybody talking to you about it before you went over there the first time? They're like, "Oh no, you don't want to drive," or it's gonna be tough, or
that they're like, "You don't want to." And I remember distinctly getting off the plane, getting into the van the first time we were here. And going, man, I'm happy that I'm not driving because I'd be so. And now here I am, driving, rescuing drummers from United.
Well, when we were over there, my wife's she is not the person that you want sitting next to you in the front if it's kind of a nerve-wracking ride. And so our friend was like, "Do you want to sit in the front?" She's from the Netherlands, and we were like, "I'm like, no, 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 no. She can't sit in the front." And she's like, "Well, do you want to sit in the front?" And I'm like, "No, no, no. You don't understand. She can't sit in the front. We will all die if that's the case."
Guys, and hope for the best.
And how about those? We have some of these now, the roundabouts here in the
Oh
States,
yeah,
but they have 3-lane roundabouts over there.
they're everywhere. Yeah, it's almost no stoplights, roundabouts everywhere, and it's cool. It's supposed to keep traffic down, and I don't know that it does that. It's still just crazy. It's people drive just crazier over here than they do in the States, which is wild. And so you just go for it. You don't hesitate. I always say, don't hesitate, just go for it.
Yes, the more you think about it, the worse it's going to be because they're like, move.
Mm-hmm.
They're like Jimmy Fallon playing that IT guy, right? Move.
They'll flash your lights behind you. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But luckily, we made it today, and we got to do it again in the morning to pick up the Pretty Boy Floyd drummer. But other than that, I mean, those are the only hiccups we've had so far.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, we were talking a little bit last night, and I was like, no, it's super cool that I was hoping we could get together yesterday, but it was super cool that we didn't, and it was super good that we didn't because
Yeah,
you were helping out with the whole trying to get the drummer there.
yeah.
So
United Airlines did us a good one, and so
that's
our drummer
great.
was 8 hours later than we anticipated.
That's great. What are you guys looking forward to the most on this tour? I know you have the HRH.
Yeah, that's really the big one. I mean, what's really cool is being here in Blackpool, being at the Waterloo Bar. Like we were here, and it kind of feels like we're home already. So
Oh,
that to me is one of the best feelings ever. Like you walk in and you see the same people from. I mean, I went and bought. They have these brilliant British boots. Like I love their boots, and I went to the boot store I went to last year, and they recognized me from a year ago.
whoa.
These ladies selling shoes, they don't even know who we are, but it's cool. And HRH is sold out. It's going to be massively big, just a big party. But also playing places like Nottingham and meeting friends and fans that we haven't been able to get to their part of the country or their part of the woods. Doing those new shows is like the most exciting for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, just go ahead and pencil me in for next year. If you
Yeah,
guys have a chance to do this, I'll be
yeah.
part of the crew.
We're already coming back. We'll be coming back
Okay.
to Europe in May of next year, and then Australia again June into July. So it's just like it just keeps building and growing, and something that's very very cool and uniquely our own.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, that's what excites me, and that's what excited me about being able to do this with you because I do believe in this band. I love the energy is there and your sincerity in what you're doing. It's not a gimmick.
No, no.
You know, it's a real awesome affair. It's great.
Yeah, and I've been. It's like these thoughts and these ideas kind of rolling around in my mind. Like, with this band, we are kind of doing it our own way and telling
Mm.
everybody else that doesn't believe in us that hey, you're either on the ship or you're not. We're
Right.
still going to sail, and you can either be on it. Whoever you are, any walk of life, we are kind of starting something that's very cool, and you guys can come along for the ride, or do whatever you want. But man,
Mhm.
being a part of this is something that's very special, and
Yeah,
a lot of people have given us so much support back home, even in the state, and even over
that's
here in
great.
Europe. So much support that I'm just blown away. There's the police right there.
I know, right?
They knew that our drummer Jimmy just got into town.
I thought maybe they were going to give him an escort
Bomb-
there, maybe.
Bombs going off, gunshots. Welcome to England, baby.
Hey, better than some other places at this point, right?
Right.
Um, is there certain energies that come from things that other things that excite you about being in the UK? I remember getting off the plane and just my ancestry is there in Ireland and in Wales. I'm and Scotland. I'm Scotch Irish, Wales. I'm Welsh, and it's just uh, there's an energy there, right?
Yeah.
You spoke a little bit about it, but I mean, is there still
It
something you want to see there? Have you been to Liverpool and hung out, or did you?
didn't get to go to Liverpool, but that's one. Liverpool, Abbey Road, of course, the Cavern Club, all those great places.
Yeah.
The downside is being on tour. You don't get to see the places that you want to, and we've been to some amazing places, and we're going back. One of those is in Scotland, like you talked about. Bannerman's is what it's called,
Yeah.
but the whole of Edinburgh is, or not the whole, but I would say that the city center is still such a big medieval castle, and it's like you're on the King's Mile, and so when you get into town, you're pretty much put right in those cobblestone streets, and you can feel that history. You don't ever leave till you leave town and you see more modern architecture and everything like that, but in Edinburgh it's just castles and pubs and beauty.
It is
Really.
beautiful. It's
Hmm.
That's absolutely it. You drive through the countrysides and I just marvel at the
Hmm.
landscapes and everything. I don't Have you ever gotten into Eddie Izzard's comedy?
Yeah, I've listened to a little bit of it actually.
I love Dress to Kill, one of the very first things that they put out for him. And he was like, yes, oh yes, yes, that's all we have is castles. Yeah, we just have everybody has a castle. We
Hmm.
long for a bungalow, he says.
It's true.
But there are some amazing sites there. And he says it's not like it is in the States where they tear everything down and build it back up, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a magical place.
Yeah, and see, like yesterday we saw the Irish Sea, like I said, and that was like I kind of felt like we were just standing there on the edge of the world, and
Yes.
it hit me hard because it was kind of cloudy and kind of stormy, and you're standing,
Yes.
seas angry, and you can feel the breeze in your face, and you're like, man, we're like right here on the edge, and I
Yes.
that's one of the coolest things, the best feelings. We took pictures and they came out so great, like we're here to
Please,
conquer the
if you
world.
have a couple that you can send, I'll put them up, man.
Yeah,
I would love to have those up and share those for you early, but not everything because I know you want to hold on.
we just went out. I just posted one today. We were out eating, and they had a sign on the like the little shop wall that says "We sell fags." So
Yes.
we all stood in front of the sign, and took a picture, like, "Hey, we made it."
It's like the old comedy routine about sharing a fag.
Yeah.
It's a whole other thing. So if I look back at their schedule real quick here, you've got Nottingham. That's going to be great. Going to Nottingham. And then you have the HRS festival when I have a gig that night on Saturday. So you'll be there then. So we were
That's
talking about that a little bit because is this, they have the Prague Fest
right.
as well, which we were talking about Russ Ballard, um, and that he's on tour there at about this same time frame. He's going to be touring around in England as well, and he's going to be doing the Prague Fest. But do they call this HRH Fest something? Is it a metal fest or a?
Rock fest. There's like a hard rock. There's a sleaze. There's a punk rock. There's a country and a prog. Yeah. So I believe this is the hard rock one.
Oh, they didn't want you for the country one.
For some reason, no.
Hmm.
I don't know what it was. I
I,
got the hat. I got my new English boots. Let's go.
yeah. What's and I hear it in the
I'm
music.
from
I don't understand. I don't.
the
Maybe next time focus a little bit more on the twang.
I'll talk to the promoter, see if he can hook us up.
And then the better side of me says, don't do that.
No.
I had a woman come up to me one time when I was DJing. She goes, I bet you hate country. I go, well, I hate country. I don't like it,
Yeah.
but I don't like all the, and she goes, well, they call that twang. I said, well, I kind of call it annoying. So let's not.
Yes, being DJ as I am as well, you grow to learn music, or not to learn, but to love music that affects people. So
That's
if it's
right.
popular music that people will, and you're like thinking on a different wavelength, like what's going to get these people off, what's going to make these people drink more,
Yes.
what's these asses in the seats. And so whatever those songs are, I know, the DJ knows what
That's
to
right.
play it.
That's right. That's right. And that's when I always have the piece of paper there. I'm like, just write it down, whatever you want. Never flying to another country, says Blake, getting detained or whatever else. Hell with that. You don't really. If you keep yourself on the easy, and especially these days, because you can go ahead and get all your stuff together and have your passport and all your TSA stuff, and it's a dream.
I got good stories. I got good stories for you, Stu.
Please.
There's two of them. The first one came from earlier this year going into Australia. We don't usually get hemmed up too bad at customs, but in Australia they got us, and they went through our bags and searched us, and it was just an absolute nightmare. Luckily we didn't have anything. We're not that dumb.
Right.
Not that dumb, and everything was fine. The other really good story was last year when we came over, we had to take a ferry, and we're gonna have to take another ferry this year. And I was just telling Steve from Pretty Boy Floyd about it, where when you cross into Ireland, you still have to go through customs again. And they found out that there's 2 American rock bands in this van full of gear, one British dude as the driver, and 9 American long hairs. And they pulled us over, pulled us all out of the van, brought in the canine unit. And I thought, this is it. We're probably going to go to prison in Ireland, and I'm going to have to call my parents from Ireland. And luckily, they didn't find anything. They let us go. But it took so long that they canceled the show. We missed the show because we were just, yeah. We 3-hour ferry ride just the show.
Oh man, that sucks. Oh shit. Oh,
and
man.
Irish, while amazing, are hard asses. So they weren't any of it. Yep.
I wonder if they're that hard assed up in Canada. It's
No,
not that.
I don't think so.
I don't know. They got the outfits, those Canadian Mounties. I got a buddy of mine who works for the border service up there. And yeah, it's, but he's like a teddy bear, so I don't know,
I would think they're pretty nice. I think the Canadian
so. Most of that Canadian stuff is pretty cool,
I've never been the one country I would love to go to.
Yeah, me too. And it's just right up there. And you're even closer to it than I am.
Neighbors to the north.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's work that out. We'll get up there.
Done.
So you've never been up there?
I've never been up there. We've never played.
I was going to say, let's get you a tour up there.
Yeah, I think I was just reading something. Kiss's first tour, the first tour that Kiss ever did.
Yeah.
The first out of New York shows they ever played was in Canada.
And then they ended up like having Rush on their tour later when they were very young. And
I didn't know that Rush had another drummer before.
Yeah, John Rutsey.
Yeah, I was not aware of that. I'm reading this book just going, whoa, this is so cool. little minutia.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's why everything on that album is about relationships and hey baby, it's 7:45. That's why it's all like that, because you didn't have Neil Peart doing all those cool things, all the storylines. Well, hey, I don't want to keep you too long. I had to pour my beer. Got my nice AC/DC Who Made Who.
Hey, that's cool.
That's another movie that I didn't talk about. What's one of your favorite movies that you would watch for Halloween? Because it is Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody.
We talk about that. Yeah, Halloween. I was talking about this with Carrie's my girlfriend. I was talking about this, and I go, you know what? I don't know that I necessarily seek out horror movies. It's not that I don't like them.
Yeah.
It's just that I was like, would you rather watch Tommy Boy or Halloween? And I'm like, Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy in a second.
Like, I'm going to smoke a joint and watch Tommy Boy and laugh my ass off, even though I know every line to the whole movie.
What, did you call me on a walkie-talkie?
Was that a nightmare in there?
Nice luggage.
I do that every time. Did you spray that thing for fleas?
Your brain probably has a thin candy shell.
Horror movies. Halloween is always like my go-to. Yeah. Halloween is, I think, a masterpiece.
Well, I tell you, I've got to show you this one if I can find. It fell on the floor. Hold on. Of course, it's the only thing that fell on the floor. But this is great. It's got Alice Cooper is in it, Iggy Pop, Moby, and Henry Rollins.
Okay.
But it's fun. It is campy, but well done. And I'm a picky dick. So it's like, I'm not an asshole, but I am a dick. But
over here.
Called Suck. It's so good. So good. Check it out.
The correct answer would have been like Trick or Treat or something. They got some great rock and roll horror movies.
Yes, I love Trick or. I just bought it on Blu-ray and it's called Ragman.
Oh,
on that. I know, right?
Very cool. Sammy, right?
Yeah, and of course, Lost Boys.
Yeah,
great rock and roll songs in that one. And what was the other one that I had here? Well, of course, there's Rocky Horror Picture Show, and everything. So, but yeah. So anyway, but yeah, check that one out too. Might be something for you to check out when you get back. But I'll let you get going. We're going to be doing this again. When do you think another? I mean, will you have a computer or your phone? You'll have your phone. Yeah. We can do it over that. Is that what you're using now?
Yep.
Good. Because could we do something from HRH?
Oh yeah, because we're on at 4:30 p.m., which is I think if you minus 6 hours off, that'd be like 10 a.m. So
Yeah, that'd be
I'm gonna be
perfect.
free clear at 8:30 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, because
So you just
I can
call or
be
text
ready
me.
to go anytime because I have a gig that night. So the earlier on in the day, that's great.
Perfect.
So if you're there, you just keep in touch with me and let me know because then we'll chat just a moment about your Nottingham
Yeah,
uh, gig, and so then and then we'll just keep moving on. And this is going to be
yeah.
great, man.
It's like the first. I always tell people like the first day of the tour is always the hardest, and
Mhm.
luckily we planned like an extra day here to get acclimated. But it's always the most stressful is getting everybody to where they're supposed to be, getting all the shows, getting good gear, everything like that. And then once the first one's done, you kind of like get into the mode. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what pieces you don't have. Like when I
Ex-
screwed myself the other night and for whatever reason didn't have the little plug that goes with my effects pedal. I'm like,
Yep.
seriously.
Yep. I was
So
like, man, go open all my cases and set it all up right now to make sure. But well, we got time tomorrow. It'll be all
you
right.
do. You do.
I'm a
But
big
man, that's going to be great. All the best to you guys tonight.
fan.
Enjoying your Halloween evening.
You
And
wait. Go to the tower at Blackpool.
yeah,
40
man.
stories high.
That's so cool. I'll keep checking on your site too for any photos and stuff
Okay.
like that. But you got my email. You can just send
Sure.
it to me. Whatever you have that's a little extra that you can share, and then I can put those up and we'll have it and we'll keep this up, brother.
Tell you this: the first night of the tour, where we was staying at a hotel,
Mhm.
and 4:30 in the morning hit, and all of the fire alarms went off. They cleared out the entire hotel at 4:30 in the morning into the streets. It's raining. It's dark. People, nobody has shoes on. I was like, "What? This is so wild." The the stories are already starting.
Yeah, right. You're right. You got a journal? Do you keep a journal, Sam?
I tried really hard to keep a journal, and I just can't figure it out. I
Uh,
can't. I have the stories, but I can't sit there and write them down. I don't know
it
what it is.
it takes a lot of time, man.
And a lot of it is I figure that I'm going to put and it's the songs that end up being the journal about what happens to us on the road. I'll write it down on my phone and then turn them into the songs.
There you go. There maybe Viking Stew will show up in one of your songs.
Viking Stew, the picky dick.
Yeah. Dude, I can't tell you how much that warms my heart.
Yeah,
But he's not an asshole. You know
but he's
that.
not. Oh, right. See, the song basically writes itself.
I just lay the pen on the paper. It's done. It's just right there. Osmosis. It's all good. Well, you all the best to you and Sniper and Jimmy and to Pretty Boy Floyd and just I hope all great things for you guys and great success with the crowds and just have a blast, man.
I appreciate it.
You got it. Now I'll
Hit
plan
me up.
on chatting with you on. We'll leave it to Saturday,
Okay, perfect.
and then we'll go from there. And we may do a few. Obviously, we'll do a few more after that too.
Sounds great.
But we can ramp it up. I don't want to do too much before HRH. I want that to go and not bother you before that. So
Oh, it's no bother at all.
okay, that's awesome. Well, if you got
He's not
something
an
you want
ass.
to talk about, just let me know, and we can pop on before then and do
All right.
something.
Sounds great, dude. Thank you.
You got it, brother. Just
All right.
pop on out, and then I will see you real soon. And we're going to talk about a few more things, and I can't wait to talk to you on Saturday.
Thanks, Stu. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you then.
You got it, brother. Take it easy. Bye. All right, folks. So yeah, that was fantastic. I am drinking, which I almost made a mess of the rest of it because it won't all fit in my glass at the same time. This is an Earthbound Red. This is our local Earthbound beer brewery down here in St. Louis. This is an Irish style red ale. I tend to really like those. I like the red ales. Um, I like some of the darks. I like Guinness. We went when we went to Ireland for a trip a few years back, thanks to our daughter having to be over there and marching in the with Mizzou for the St. Patty's Day parade. That was a wonderful time. Got to meet some of the local musicians that were there from Dublin who had recorded some albums, and I picked up their album at the record store, or at the music store, I should say. So I am going to take a real nice drink out of this. Again, the Who Made Who glass, which is another film, another rock and roll horror film. I forgot about Maximum Overdrive with Emilio Estevez and the Green Goblin truck. Oh, that's good. And I want to say thank you. PJ, good to see you. Blake, always good to see you. Saboteur, fantastic. And there he is, Crimson Cross. All right. So I just have a few other things to share with you real quick. I wanted to show you this because I mentioned it the other day. Still have it. I did say that. And I still do have it. There it is, the 8-track of Hell Bent for Leather. This is where I first heard Judas Priest, was off of this. And which program is it in? Need to make sure. I would have assumed that it was on the last one. Here we go. Pt.I-10.31.23. No, where is it? Wow, really? That doesn't make sense to me. I do not remember that being that early on the record. It's the on the 8-track. This album flows much differently. I don't know if who all of you out there have ever listened to 8 tracks, but it was I call it the second worst medium next to like FM radio, because, and I shouldn't say that. Radio has its place and people make a living off of it, and that's great. And I should look at it more like that, because people have to make money and they have to make a living. So advertising is great and you need the advertising money. But if you ever seen the movie FM, it gets to the point where they're looking to put too many commercials in. And now you're listening to more commercials and more yapping than you are music. And that to me is when it starts to go downhill. One of my favorite lines in FM, I will pluck it from the movie and I will use it in a show one time. I won't say it. Not until after you've heard it. But this 8-track is set up quite different. Let's see, Take on All the World is like the second song on the first program. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. Rock Forever is the first song. Take on All the World. The Green Manalishi is next, which is a nice Peter Green tune. If you've never heard the Fleetwood Mac version, check it out. Hell Bent for Leather then is the first song on the second track. Burning Up and Killing Machine, which is the original title track to this album in England. Delivering the Goods then is the first song on the third track, which is the first song of the album, actually. Running Wild is the second track. I think Delivering the Goods, Running Wild, and Evening Star, part 1. That's the gross part, people. Evening Star, part 1, and then it goes ka-chunk, and then you have Evening Star Conclusion. Not part 2, Conclusion. And then we have Before the Dawn and Evil Fantasies. I believe that's how the album really ends, is Before the Dawn and Evil Fantasies. Before the Dawn is a beautiful, beautiful song. I was thinking about bringing it to my band because it's just such a gorgeous song. And then and I heard it the other day, but if you were to play it for a friend, they probably really wouldn't know who it is. Even if they're a slight Judas Priest fan, and aren't familiar with the catalog, they may they're like, oh, I love all the hits, or they got into them later and just bought the albums with the hits on them. If you played them Before the Dawn, probably would have no idea that that's what that is. I'm glad I'm not a musician yet touring. Burning Witches would be fun to tour with and be around in an amazing way. Yeah, so Thunder Mother is like that too. My dad had an 8-track, but he only had country western music, but it was classics like Hank Williams Jr., just others of that era. Yeah, there were some definite classics back in the day. I know David Allan Coe was one of the big names. Of course, the big names back when I was coming up through middle school and high school, that was the time where I got to know country art, know about country artists. I knew about them all my life pretty much, but Glenn Campbell, Dolly Parton, Hank Williams Jr. was a favorite of my friend's brother. He also liked the David Allan Coe. And of course, when you're in high school, David Allan Coe is fun because he was like the Steel Panther of country music, right? Totally inappropriate lyrics and stuff like that. But Alabama was huge. The Oak Ridge Boys were huge. I didn't listen to that stuff because I just didn't like it. It was too I don't know if contrived is the word. I just didn't enjoy it. It's just not my style. I appreciated it though, because coming from a family who enjoyed harmonies, like with the barbershop quartets and things like that, was into all of that, and choir stuff. My mom directed a choir all through my childhood and stuff like that. So I had an appreciation for harmony and loved it. So those, I could appreciate that, but I still didn't dig the music, but 8-tracks were horrendous. It was terrible. Does anybody collect Halloween music or sound effects? These are the things that I have: sounds of Halloween, sounds of horror. And I get into these modes where you go to, I probably picked these up. You see, this one says 2 for $3. See, I probably picked these 2 up at Spirits, the Halloween shop, especially when they were on sale at the end, when they were having the big sale. Scary Sounds of Halloween. Whenever they're cheap like this, I kind of pick them up because there's always something on there. You can download them and use them. Here's Monstrous Music from Beyond Nightmare Manor. Another 2 bands that I want to tell you about too, if you've never checked them out. This one was kind of interesting. It's Horror Sounds. All right. This one, Halloween Sounds. Some of these are probably the same stuff, just repackaged. Halloween sound effects. Now there's like a trilogy that I found that were all together. These were sold at the same place at the same time, and you can tell it's all branded the same. The purple covers with the different artwork on the covers: skull, pumpkin, and haunted house that's grinning, with pumpkins for their eyeballs. And then, but there are 2 groups I'll tell you about here. Halloween Howls. I didn't even know about this one. I didn't even remember this one. That's scary. Here's one, The Demented Doctor, with, look at that. Oh, it's lenticular. It's kind of weird. This one's kind of creepy though. It's got some weird stuff on it. It's not a favorite, but I probably had to get rid of some of this stuff. Download it, archive it, and then get rid of it. Let's see. Here's one called. Oh, here's one. Drew's. What is it called? Drew's what? I can't. They used the wrong fonts on there. Drew's Famous. That's what it's called. It looks like an L. You tell me. Doesn't that look like an L in this second word over here? It looks like an L. But it's Drew's Famous Fright Flicks. It's got music from The Shining and Psycho Suite and Silence of the Lambs, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dracula, The Omen, so Amityville Horror, Tales from the Crypt, Blade Runner. That's not horror. You guys are silly. Okay, so here's something that I bought on cassette years ago. I had the vinyl, and I'm so sorry. I meant to pull it out. It's a Disney vinyl that came out, and it had Ron Howard on it. You can find it on YouTube. I'll put a link out there for you. You can find it on YouTube. Maybe I'll just look it up here real quick so you can check it out. It kind of goes along with something we've talked about on Go Game Go quite often, where we've talked about Power Records. Let's see, Disney's Haunted. Whoops, Haunted has a U in it still, I think, right? Haunted Manor. Manor. That's what it's called. Not haunted house. It's Haunted Manor. I think they're talking about the. Let's see. Let's put in Ron Howard. So Ron Howard played Richie Cunningham. But long before that, he was in the Andy Griffith Show as a kid. And yeah, there it is. Okay, so cool. Okay, so it's a story and song from the Haunted Mansion is what it's called. And it was a vinyl, and I owned it and loved it. So I found it out there on YouTube. You can find it right out there. But it's about he and his girlfriend. I recorded it. And it's about he and his girlfriend getting caught there in the Haunted Mansion. But it's really good. I enjoyed it a lot. Still do love to listen to this. See, made a copy because I'm bad. And then we have classics from the Crypt. This one is really cool because it has like Toccata and Fugue, the Dance Macabre, Funeral March of the Marionette, Night on Bald Mountain. You guys know that from Disney. Sorcerer's Apprentice. You know that from Disney. Dream of a Witch's Sabbath by Berlioz. I don't know. Anyway, he's got two of them. He did the March to Scaffold as well. The same guy. Scott Mazorski did, of course, Night on Bald Mountain. Good stuff. Good. Now, then we have some of my compilations that I put together, where we have like Simpsons. Nerf Herder did the Buffy theme, right? Blue Oyster Cult's Black Blade. I talked about that one before. Diary of a Madman. There's a good one for you. Cry Little Sister. That's one of the songs that was in the soundtrack for the Lost Boys, and some of the other ones. Oh, and that's another one too. I didn't tell you about. Another one of my favorite kind of Halloween type tunes is Bad English. When they had their song Forget Me Not. That's totally a vampire song. Kind of like Gonna Get Close to You, which is about like a creeper or a stalker, by Queensryche. That's a creepy tune too. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm some kind of lunatic. Then I have this one that I put together myself, and of course printed out a black and white cover because I didn't have a color printer. Halloween Volume 1, which Ghostbusters, Monster Mash, Thriller, all those. Witchy Woman, and Hypnotized from Fleetwood Mac, not Mystified, Hypnotized. And then I did Elvira's. Of course, Elvira had Halloween hits. So some good stuff. So I look forward to checking back in with you guys down the line here, and getting hooked up with Sam again here as we're going. This is very exciting stuff. And I'm talking with Russ Ballard about doing the same thing as he's touring over in the UK as well. And in the meantime, something that I haven't said yet, and I didn't say it with Sam on the screen, I kind of meant to, was their second record, when you check it out, is produced by Chip Z'Nuff. So there you go, Blake. Just thought you might want to know that. Chip Z'Nuff produced that first album for them. So that's pretty cool. As far as the deep dive is going, do you remember these lovely ladies from Burning Witches? I did a deep dive so far. My deep dive has got me through Hexenhammer, which Hexenhammer, the title track to that album, is one of my favorite songs of theirs so far. Really, really love it. And I'm just about done with this one, which it looks like the Burning Alive is an EP. So they released it together. So it's Burning Witches, like their first album, and Burning Alive is like an EP of live stuff. So that's what that is. And then there's that. So what we'll be doing is, looks like they're going to be doing the Waterloo Music Bar tomorrow in Blackpool, and then Nottingham. Then they get a day off, and then Nottingham, and then they go to the HRH Fest in Great Yarmouth. What I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to come up with a map, and we'll kind of see where they're going, and we'll kind of map it together. Shall we do that? I think we shall. Probably what I'll do is put maybe a pink line, and then as we go, we'll make the line green and get us to our destination. Should be fun. So I'll work that out for us so you know exactly where they're going, because you know it's cute and all to know where these countries are, and you know where England is, you know where you know that Ireland's right off of it as a island, and you've got Scotland is up on top and stuff. But it's one of those things that you may not know exactly where everything is. When we were going to go to the Netherlands, I didn't know that it was just across the water from England. I didn't know that, and now I do, and that it's also under sea level. How about that? A country under sea level. All right, folks. I think that's going to about do it. I'll take one last drink of my AC/DC drink today. Very good. Again, Earthbound Brewery. That's our unofficial sponsor for today. How about that? You guys have a great Halloween. Happy Halloween to y'all. Don't get too spooked. Watch a scary movie or jump in on that conversation that Miss So was talking about yesterday. Our final words here: 5 hot rods. Wish I toured. Yeah, get on the guitar there, buddy. You might have a chance of doing a tour with them. Plan to get the Midnight Devils. Yes. Thanks for mentioning that. So, okay, so let me tell you this though, Crimson. I went ahead and bought their etched vinyl single because it comes with both CDs. It was $50, ended up being $58 with shipping, which isn't bad. So for $58, I got both CDs and I got the etched vinyl singles. So it's kind of a neat deal. That's just one way to look. So I know it's a lot cheaper if you're just going to want to get the CDs, but that was a fun way to go. I thought that was neat. Oh, and they throw in an autographed poster as well. So there you go. I should have talked to Sam about if they'd give a deal for Hammer Away, that if you mentioned Hammer Away, maybe you'd get a free t-shirt too to go with it or something like that. Maybe I'll mention that to him. So hold off for a second and see if I might be able to do like a special deal. I doubt it. I'm a good guy, but I don't know if I'm that good. But anyway, have a great day. Remember, when you're out trick-or-treating, you're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours. So make sure that you're cool and not having a conversation with your friend over the speakerphone in the middle of a restaurant. What do you guys want to do when you see that happening? Let me know. What I want to do is jump up and go, tell them I said hi. And they'll be like, what are you doing? And I'll be like, well, I'm saying hello. I thought this was a phone call for all of us. So if you feel so daring and you want to do that, do it. All right, guys, have a good one. Peace out.